So, William, you were Niall's voice coach.
Yes. What a man he is! What a voice he has!
Excellent. And what were some of the exercises that you and Niall would go through?
So, it's a good question. What we did was, we went to the loudest places we could find. Quarries, groups of shouting people, shouting parties, Greek orgies of destruction, those sorts of places. And we had quiet conversations. It was very good. And what it generated was loudness.
Mr. Moorjani is not a flyer. Mr. Moorjani is an actor. He's the actor. The only actor at this fringe.
Mr. Moorjani, we're all filming.
I see.
Tell us, where are you from?
I'm from a little town in Scotland called Dundee.
Well, you don't seem to have that much of a Scottish accent. How come?
No, I do not.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Certainly not.
All right then. Mr. Moorjani, acting. Where did it all begin? Was it in Dundee?
It was indeed in Dundee. I guess you could say I was born for the stage. I was born on it. It was a terrible calamity. My mother was in a play at the time, and I just popped out. And really from there, things just kept going. I was abandoned on stage at the age of 8. My mother left. And on the stage I remained. I was playing King Lear by the age of 10. And, excuse me, King Lear by the age of 10, and really, it's inappropriate for a child to be playing King Lear, but there wasn't much of an acting scene in Dundee, so things really just went from there. The stage was where I belonged, and it's where I stayed.
The first time I saw Mr. Moorjani perform was in '82, and it was like nothing we'd ever seen before. And at that moment I knew there had to be a book made about this man.
So, how did you then make the move from acting to flyering?
Well, of course, my acting became more serious as I went along. I kept going for bigger and bigger things. I trained at some of the finest acting schools in Hull, for goodness sake. I was ready to go. But finally the opportunity came along, and it was an opportunity to be in a film. A wonderful film, A Streetcar Named Flyer, set in Edinburgh. Now, for this role I had to play a flyer, and I knew I was going to have to pull something out of the bag to make it special. So I consulted my good friend and acting coach, the only man I knew who could make me better, Douglas Gary.
You're absolutely sure, right?
Yes, Mr. Gary, there are no ghosts behind there.
Douglas Gary helped me develop what we call meta method.
The meta method. It's been banned by the Actors Guild. It was a dangerous technique that I developed. Only a few have actually survived it. It's a combination of some techniques I learned in China, Tibet, the kabuki theaters of Japan, and of course Hackney streetcalling. It requires. I couldn't wear shoes for a week after I initially came up with it, and then Niall came along, and the man just got it.
I didn't have a clue.
Well, the meta method is basically like a thumb war for the soul. There's a lot of emotions flying around. It gets very visceral. A lot of tears, mostly mine. I'm a big cry. Yeah. And of course, we got absolutely shit-faced. So high. I mean, everything. Everything. I basically had my dealer living at my house. I'm pretty sure he produced one of Niall's plays.
What brings you back to flyering?
Well, it's amazing. It's the most immersive type of theatre. It's where meta-method can really be put to the test. Stanislavski himself would be proud of what we achieved here in Edinburgh, and it's verbatim theatre. It is just perfect. You can be at one with your audience and they are at one with you. You are the ebb of the flow of the tide at all times. It is a phenomenal experience. It is a phenomenal high to act and work as a flyer when you are simply playing one in Edinburgh. But mostly I did it for the tits. Actually, do you know what? That's sexist. I did it for the dick as well. There's a lot of good dick this year.
I wrote the Moorjani method in 2010. We self-published, and numbers have been sold worldwide. 7, I think was the last time I checked. Trying to unravel the mysteries of the Moorjani method was like trying to explain the concept of brothers and sisters to a Chinaman. It was just never going to work.
Tell me, Niall, how have you managed to have so many sexual partners?
Well, firstly, I stay well hydrated, and secondly, there's a trick. Not that kind of a trick, but it works the same. Now, the way it works, it was developed from flyering. Basically, as you would go to somebody, can I interest you in a show? Can I interest you in a show? They'd often say no, but sometimes they'd say yes. And that's what you desire. For if somebody you are attracted to walks past, you can simply say, can I interest you in my penis? And sometimes they say yes. And when they do, if they inquire as to what kind of a show it is, you simply say, well, it's a stand-up show.
And that worked.
Astonishingly, yes.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, that worked. So, walk us through a bit of the method.
Well, it starts with invoking the inner actor. Like at the very core of everyone's being, there is an inner actor, and you really have to get down to it. You have to release this guttural cry. For Niall, it was something akin to, and then he'd move on from there to dancing around the room to release the energy. Really, the meta method culminates in a Russian doll situation, as we deemed it.
Oh, of course, the Russian doll theory. It was one of our most brilliant techniques. Minton Douglas Gary devised it. It was simultaneously being many characters while still being one. You are everyone at the same time. Thus, you could target all markets. Oh my goodness, it was revolutionary. And when I perfected my techniques, they started to call me the spicy babushka. My psychiatrist started to call me schizophrenic. 2/10 of me believed him, but the other 17 said no.
Tell me about the Russian dolls.
Well, that started out as a metaphor, but Niall didn't really grasp metaphor all too well. He tried to eat a dwarf. Could have been a little person. I don't know the correct term. I've not kept up to date with it, but he unhinged his jaw. It's like watching a boa constrictor eat a greased pig. Of course, they're friends now.
Keith and I have never been closer.
Oh, what do you need? What do you want? What I can make? What I can get you? Oh, nothing now. Actually, I'm broke. I've kind of produced a play, which didn't go anywhere. Bastard.
Oh, it's you. That's fine. And you do have a light on that thing. Wonderful. Welcome to my bachelor pad and humble abode. This, as you may see, is quite dark. It's 'cause we don't pay our bills. Even if we could, I wouldn't know who the fuck to pay. Now do come into the main atrium, the hallway, the epicenter of the flat. This beautiful, beautiful location. But that's not where you want to go, is it? You want to come into my heart of darkness. You want to come into my room. Bloody key. Who let you out of your cage? Get back! Come on! Oh, Jesus Christ. I take what I do exceptionally seriously.
Sorry, what?
What? This is it. I know I've always told you of my commitment to my part, what it's about and how I am it, but you must excuse me, it is almost bedtime and, well, I suppose it's okay if you observe my pre-bedtime rituals. Quite simply, I meditate on my bed of flyers as one should. One must become the flyer. 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 Be the flyer.
He took it too far.
Be the flyer. Flyer. Flyer.
Way too far.
Those two guys, Doug and Niall, yes, they were quite ravenous with their consumption. They really did like their drugs. Yes. Something about helping them act.
After the whole madness thing, he really did become a flyer for all intents and purposes. We would have stopped him, of course, but he started flyering for the acting studio, and we really needed the money. I mean, in many ways, he is the snail crawling along the edge of the straight razor of life.
In many ways, he's like the donkey, crawling along the loads of swords of life.
What's your name?
My name's Robin.
Why are you here?
No.
No, seriously, how did you get in here?
I came in through the shower head.
You didn't come in through the shower head. How did you
No.
get in here?
No. I came up the toilet. Yes.
Alright, let's move on. Are you a flyer? Do you work for the Fringe at all? Or a viewer? No? Do you know Niall? Look, mate, why are you here?
I'm the landlord. Give me my money. Thank you. I'll be leaving now. Which way's the bathroom again?